Welcome to latest world news.
Afghan forces called in the airstrike that hit a Medecins Sans Frontieres (MSF) clinic in Kunduz, killing 22 people, a U.S. general says. General John Campbell admitted that no U.S. forces had been under fire at the time, reversing an earlier statement. MSF says Afghan attempts to justify the strike amount to an admission of a war crime. Afghan forces backed by the U.S. have retaken much of Kunduz, which was overrun by the Taliban last week. 12 MSF staff members and 10 patients were killed when the hospital was hit on Saturday by a U.S. airstrike. MSF says it was a lifeline for thousands in the city and in northern Afghanistan. We have now learned that on 3 October, Afghan forces advised that they were taking fire from enemy positions and asked for air support from U.S. Air Forces, said John Campbell, the top commander of the U.S.-led NATO coalition in Afghanistan. An airstrike was then called to eliminate the Taliban threat and several civilians were accidentally struck. He expressed his deepest condolences over the civilian deaths. Responding to John Campbell's remarks, Christopher Stokes, the general director of MSF, accused the U.S. of attempting to pass responsibility to the Afghanistan government. The reality is the U.S. dropped those bombs, Mr. Stokes said. The U.S. hit a huge hospital full of wounded patients and MSF staff. The U.S. military remains responsible for the targets it hits, even though it is part of a coalition. There can be no justification for this horrible attack. With such constant discrepancies in the U.S. and Afghan accounts of what happened, the need for a full, transparent, independent investigation is ever more critical.